I love how in the paperwork for court, how they don't name Danielle Tracy. They just call her Trainee. They don't even know her name, apparently. Nobody has to know her name. And it's pretty funny, Diane, when I told you how people treated Dane in Walton. And I was telling you that if I get a class action lawsuit going, he's on it. And then there's an article in the paper about this nuisance resident. Who's paranoid in Delaware County? Who is paranoid? You know how you treat him in in Walton. You know. You know who Rita is. You know exactly who I'm talking about. There's a person here that's staying in the Buena Vista Hotel, Allison, who was treated like shit in Walton for the same reasons Rita was. What kind of names and shit you got for her? Who is paranoid, Delaware County? You think you get to put an article in the paper and say, oh, we've got all these retards and all these mentally ill people, and we have people that we just deem socially unacceptable. We should just do away with them. Right, Delaware County? What are you going to do with Dane? Where are you going to put him? He's supposed to be under the care of the county, like Rorden, who has no shoes. Does he have shoes yet, Jennifer? Diane, every time you go back and you say something to them, it's obvious. It just ends up in the newspaper. Delaware County. Why is everything I say to Diane ending up in the newspaper? You can claim it's not. It's all documented. I put this on Facebook and YouTube. It's all in chronological order. I say something, you react. I haven't done a thing except run my mouth, Delaware County. Nothing. I don't care what your permanent record says. I've done nothing. I hope you all are shitting bricks. Not because of anything I'm going to do. I've told you the whole time. I've reported you all, and I continue to do so. And I'm making a YouTube, and I'm using you in my life to do it. Your existence in my life now is my YouTube. Funny how that works, huh? CPS Dave, you're a little dirtbag. You lied about everything and all that stuff, which you'll probably get away with it because I wasn't recording yet. Hadn't learned that yet. You're a liar. You and Joan stoned with that look on her face laughing when you first came to my house. You proud of the job you've done? Your involvement in my son's life? I told you, you don't even know the backstory. You read all that crap in there, and you just think it's true because it's written there. Do you know John Banks Jr.? Do you know what I lived with? No. Do you care? Furthermore, no. You just got your job to do. It's not really helping people. It's just writing shit down and putting it in a record. Well, good for you. I think any asshole could do that shit. Anybody could do that. It takes a real special person to actually do their job. Isn't that crazy? To actually put in the time and effort, to actually pay attention to the circumstances, to actually listen to what someone's telling you, not to just jump on the bandwagon of what a bunch of bullshit that's written down. CPS Dave. I'm gonna make you famous, buddy. I hope you go to jail. God only knows what you've done in other people's lives that don't speak up. You're getting a little chubby there, too. You might want to Tidy up your health routine, Dave. Just trying to help you out. Trying to keep you healthy. That's what it's all about now, right? Staying healthy. Especially if you're poor around here. I wonder when they figure out how many of you haven't been paying your proper taxes, or how many of you are going to lose your houses. How many of you are going to end up homeless? You'll be all right. You'll be fine. We all are. You'll live. You'll figure it out. You'll have to do it yourself. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if your wife's going to want to stay with you then. I don't know. We'll see how this all shakes out, Delaware County. I think we're all going to lose. Maybe you should have just been like a support system for me. You did hit me with your car. You did let John Banks Jr. get away with, I'm going to say murder, because he destroyed my kids' lives. They lived through similar abuse that I did, except my dad didn't sexually abuse me. I can't even imagine what my children go through. I can't even understand. And then social services makes them go back because a bad dad's better than no dad. A bad mom's not better than no mom. A bad dad can just go get a new mom, just like the foster care system. Just take the kids away from the mom, stick them in the foster care system, call strangers mom and dad. And that's what they do around here. The dads don't even have to come to court. I have to go to court, but they don't. I got to research this and find out in other counties, when the kids are supposed to be going to foster care, are the fathers required to take part, to even appear in court? Why in Delaware County do the men just get to do whatever they want? That's not the real world anymore, Delaware County. Women burnt their bras a long time ago. And you have no interest in children's rights whatsoever. If you did, when all these kids went to foster care, they would be required to seek mental health for these kids. I know the one foster care in Walton a couple years ago, the kid killed himself. Boy, I wonder why. Maybe if he was being seen by mental health, that could have been prevented. But you don't want him in school, you don't want him in mental health, you don't want him to actually know what's going on in the foster care homes. These people with child abuse charges, arrest records. You place kids in those homes, but then you look for people to accuse of the same things, and you take the kids from those homes just to put in the foster homes, which I promise you are far worse. I've seen. I homeschooled, remember? I've been in contact with many of these families now, and me and my kids are like, what the fuck? The kids come to me and they're like, Mom, I just seen this. This kid just said this to me. Why do they do that in their house? I think that kid's being abused, Mom. My kids tell me this. And you know what I say to social services? Why don't you talk to my kids and ask them questions? Well, they refuse to talk to them now. In the beginning, when CPS Dave came around and he wrote down a bunch of bullshit, but now that they're getting to know my kids and they're smart, they're not stupid, they won't talk to them about anything. Delaware County, you've done this to yourself. Joe Setta says it's not about mental health. But then on the news it says 1 in 5 people are mentally ill and they are not seeking treatment. Maybe you need treatment, Joe Setta. It is about mental health. If you are not mentally healthy, you can't live your life properly. Correct? Do you even know what you're talking about? Are you even qualified to hold the position you're holding, representing Delaware County? Get with the program, Delaware County. 40 years ago, I got hit by a car in Delaware County in Sydney. You had a school shooting in Walton, and you dropped the ball with the fire department. What else happened 40 years ago that you guys just decided, we're just going to do it this way, we don't care? The Sydney hospital was closed. This was all in the paper because of embezzlement. The town of Sydney was fucking around with the money, so they just had to close it down. They were using it as a income-based venture, just like the guy that got fired for being a drug dealer trying to run New York State's drug program that they require everyone to get a card for, that you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money for. But it's legal. But marijuana's legal. I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. I guarantee in a couple years there won't even be a card. You people all went through this for nothing with this card shit. Well, just like the people that spent how long in jail over marijuana? Decades of their life in jail over marijuana. Now it's legal. Wasted over smoking a joint. So now all you people are going to get screwed over with this stupid card. Does anybody have to buy a card to smoke a beer? Or, excuse me, to drink a beer? I don't know. I think you're being taken advantage of, taxpayers. But what do I know? I'm just the resident retard, right? I'm autistic, poor, a single mom with all this stuff in my permanent record. Oh, speaking of permanent records, remember Jennifer Jovanetti Banks from Green? Remember when you wanted to call CDC on my son Nathan because of wearing a mask? You were going to report him to the CDC. And that's what you told him. I'm having this placed on your permanent record. But your son can hold a gun to his head and you don't call and report that? Jennifer? Your son can hold a gun to my ex-husband's head, the father of my children? You don't report that? He stabbed John in the side with a knife? None of you report that? But John, you go along with every goddamn time she had something to say about your kids. And I called you all the time because of the kids asking me to. I don't even ever want to know that you even exist, you fucking pedophile piece of shit. Chelsea, remember her? The girl your mom babysat, John? Carol's her mother. Used to work with her mother at Head Start. Remember her? She worked for Delaware Opportunities. She's quite the groomer herself. Did you teach her that, Betty? Anybody out there listening to me? Anybody had Chelsea for your caseworker when you were a teenager? I know what she was doing to you. I watched it. Did anybody listen to me then? Nope. And I know exactly how she ended up that way, John. What about that girl in the pizza place there in Unadilla, Pete's? The very first girl you ever raped when you were 12 and she was 5 in your mother's bathroom. And the screaming didn't deter you or her from any of the children. Like Shanda. When you came back from Las Vegas, from when you took off with Kelly Farmer, and you were a gay prostitute. Yes, you were, John. Yes, you were. For drugs. And you were the bitch of that magician, and you had to run home because you were scared of him. Yes, John, this all happened. Every single person that you have been involved with drugs in, you turn on them. You roll on them. Kelly Farmer ended up in trouble. Nick ended up in trouble. Your son, you're constantly calling the cops on him, your own son. Not Vincent. Not the one that's actually the problem. You'll just go along with whatever Jennifer says, and it's Nathan that's the problem. Not you. Never you, John. You got away with choking me. But Nathan, all he simply did was take the phone from Kaylee's hand. And he's public enemy number one. Because of you and Jennifer calling it. Vincent shouldn't even be in the military. He should be in jail. He should be getting mental health. He should be in a nut house. That's what you two did to him. He got kicked out of daycare, nursery school at 3 years old for beating up the other kids and calling them all niggers. Isn't that your nickname for our son, John? Nigger. You Nazi, you skinhead Nazi. You prejudiced piece of shit. And then you spend a lifetime calling our son nigger. You're the one that's prejudiced, not me. You. You called him gay his whole life? You, John. What a dad. And now you have our grandchildren. Way to go, Delaware and Chenango County. Way to go. So they can grow up and be just like the other three. And then they can be on drugs and everything else because John's going to have them doing fireworks. Explosives. A guy got his head blown off over there at All American Fireworks. This was in the paper. In the paper. And you had our minor children doing fireworks. They're supposed to be qualified. They're supposed to have training, certified. Did Delaware County or Chenango County listen to any of that? Nope. Why is that? With your $2 million, well, that's what you report anyway, Kevin Fritzler. Do you report money on the women you sell that you taught my son how to do? Do you report any of that money on all the drugs you sell? But they're worried about me being poor. I'm what's breaking Delaware County. Me. Maybe eventually somebody will listen.